Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Rowe. We're taking a look at vertical and horizontal lines today. So this is a graphing concept that's in several lessons, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and so on. So let's take a look at what we're talking about. So let's look at horizontal lines to start off with. Let me change the size here. All right, so horizontal lines. First of all, what does a horizontal line look like? Well, a horizontal line, and let's use the line tool here. I think I already got it attached. A horizontal line looks like this. So that's a horizontal line. Let me get rid of that box. You stay there. You don't want to leave. Okay, so that's a horizontal line. So now what things do we know about a horizontal line? Well, number one, a horizontal line has a slope that is 0. And how will we get 0? Well, if we calculate the slope here, so if I'm looking at this particular line that I have, let's just pick 2 points on that line. So I'm going to change color. Let's just pick 2 points. There's a point, and there's a point. So what are the coordinates of those points? So if we look at the point on the left, that is -2, +4. If we look at the point on the right, it is 3, +4. So now, if I find the slope using the slope formula, remember the slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what are the two y values? 4 minus 4. What are the two x values? 3 minus -2. So now if I find that value, what's 4 minus 4? Well, that is 0. 3 minus -2 becomes a 5. So you see my slope is 0. So it's a horizontal line because the slope is 0, because when you calculate, what's going to happen? The numerator in the calculation will be 0. And that will always be the case. Now, how do we write the equation for this line? Well, let's move down here. Since all y values are the same, the equation will always be y equals that number. So in this particular instance, so we're looking at this graph that we've got right here, the equation will be y equals 4 because every y value is 4. So that is the equation. All right, so let's take a look at the horizontal lines. Oh, excuse me, we just looked at horizontal, Mr. Rowe. Pay attention. We're now looking at vertical lines. What is a vertical line? Well, this would be a vertical line Now let me change the thickness here a little bit and draw a second one. This would be a vertical line. And I'm going to focus on the one on the left. So let me delete the other one. I'll delete that one. So here is my vertical line. So you see the difference, horizontal. This one is vertical. All right, what are some characteristics? The first one is this one will have what we call no slope or undefined slope. Now we're going to do just like we did in the last one. We're going to pick 2 points here so we can see why. So let me change my color here. So here is a point. And let's make this little dot a little bit bigger here. There is that point, and here is another point. Why is the slope no slope or an undefined slope? So again, we're going to use our slope formula. And our slope formula, just like it was in the last time, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so in this case, this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The second point right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is negative 6, negative 2. I want you to notice what you see here, and I'm going to go ahead and point it out, and then we'll talk about it a little more in just a second. That number is the same. So when we do our calculation here, y2 is 5 minus negative 2. The x's, x2 is negative 6 minus negative 6. So in the numerator, we get 5 plus 2, which is 7. In the denominator, we get negative 6 plus positive 6, which is 0. This is why it's an undefined or no slope, because we cannot divide by 0. So why is it no slope? Because we end up with a 0 in the denominator. That's why it's undefined or no slope. Now, what in the world do we do to write the equation here? Well, just like on the last ones, remember we said over here that since all the y values are the same, the equation will always be y equals some number. Well, over here, what's the same? The x values. So since the x values are the same, the equation will always be x equals a number. And in this case, if we wrote the equation for this line, what is the same thing? I've already pointed to it in red. It's negative 6. So the equation will be x equals negative 6. So I hope this helps you understand what a vertical and horizontal line is, why it has a slope of either 0 for horizontal or no slope for vertical, and how you write the equation for each one. If you're still confused, please let me know in a teacher message or make an appointment for a help session.